you're watching the Policy Times special show, Unleashing India Web Summit series.
Yeah.
Normally, this show is chaired by Dr. P. Shekhar, who is chairman of Global Smart City Panel, author of around 80 books on national development, also an architect of the concept called secured governance. Purpose of this show is to discuss about issues that are of national importance in the context of national reincarnation. We call it national reincarnation as COVID-19 has divided the world, demarcated the world into two phases, pro and pre and post COVID. I think this time needs a lot of discussion as to what kind of strategic development we should bring in the country, and we should discuss so that the future roadmap is at least set and ready for us to go. We have done a lot of discussions on a range of topics, and I'm really excited. And today, because this is slightly special, we have a lot more interesting sessions to come also for our viewers. I'm really happy that under the leadership of Dr. Shekhar, the Unleashing India Web Summit series is becoming taller and taller, and becoming better and more relevant. But today, the topic is slightly different, and I think is also one of the core purposes of living a life in this world. That is happiness. And happiness has deep connection in the way we live. Because at the end of the day, the objective of any people living in this world is to be happy and to be at peace. So peace and happiness are also one of them. So all the wealth that we generate and earn is somehow connected with these two things, peace and happiness. And maybe power is something else that we will discuss, maybe our experts will share. So to discuss on this topic, we have two really able and capable leaders. I think I cannot praise them enough, but they hold real value. Dr. Shiva Chipada sir, author and scientist, founder of Attitude Education and Bank of Creativity. I mean, by his designation, you can make out the kind of impact he has. Professor and Dr. E. Ilamathian, sir, I'm sorry if I pronounce it wrong, acclaimed educationist and director and dean of, also registrar of a prestigious academic institutions, highlighting, propagating, promoting, creating awareness of this important issue called happiness and peace. So, just to give a small background about happiness and peace, I thought let me share a couple of things. I was doing a quick research while doing this study. The United Nations come up with a report called Global Happiness Index. And in the 2020 report, you can see in this screen that we have here, Finland ranks number one. So this is a ranking based on country ranking based on happiness. And as usual, then the Scandinavian countries like Finland, Denmark, Switzerland, Norway. Switzerland is not Scandinavian, but it's a part of that. Norway, Iceland, Netherlands. So basically, these countries. So we were discussing the people who drink more. Maybe they are happier more. They're more happier. So we'll also discuss. These people drink more. Is this a reason we Indians drink less? Is this another reason of it? But yeah, most of the countries ranking, I think, on top till here, till Saudi Arabia. Sorry, United Arab Emirates is there. So couple the United Arab Emirates also drinks a lot. So I think above Saudi Arabia, all the countries drink the highest in the world. So maybe we'll also try to see if drinking is connected with peace or happiness. So, but this is the ranking. Here, if you see the ranking again, European countries on top, New Zealand, Australia are also there. Canada is also there, Australia, UK. So yeah, as usual, I mean, quite expected, these countries are there. If you Philippines, Estonia, Kazakhstan, these are lower or middle income countries. They are here. Mauritius is here in top 50. So that's good. Romania is within top 50. That's quite surprising. So here, if you see, Mongolia and rest all countries are ranking here. I'll just come to India. India is ranking 144. So that's also one point that I want to leave for our speakers to discuss. Now they divide the happiness under various backgrounds. Environmental happiness. So if you see environmental happiness, then a couple of countries are ranking on top, but most of them are constant, like Finland and Scandinavian countries. They're on top. I mean, this is again another report. I think I'll not. This is cities. If you go city wise, then city wise Helsinki. I mean, Helsinki is the famous and
It's a
renowned city.
capital city.
Yeah, right. It's in Finland. Aarhus, Wellington, Zurich, Copenhagen. So these are the top cities. I saw one Indian city ranking here was a little below here. Shanghai is ranking in 84.
I think
Is-
it's on.
Istanbul is here. And so, yeah, so I'll not take any more time. So there are many other sub criterias that they have done the ranking. Now I want to hand over to Dr. P. Shekhar now to take this issue forward, because happiness is everyone's dream, but how do we achieve it? And what is the exact scenario in the world? Handing over to Dr. Shekhar to take over.
Thank you, Akram. As you rightly said, our normal when we say reincarnation, when it's unleashing India, we talk of various infrastructure problems, various HRD problems, various problems is not the right word. Various ways of with the very fact that we are calling it reincarnation, means we are seeing how things can come back. Now, COVID itself is a very easy thing to see how a smallest thing can affect the whole country, and whole country's happiness goes, economy goes, so many things goes away. Now, when such a thing hits us, we have to have multiple ways and multiple layers in which we have to see how to come back into real life. So today we have two very good and eminent speakers. One is Professor Eli Matam, and another is Dr. Shiva Chipada. Now, Chipada is the main I mean, for today. There are other things which we will discuss regarding our second speaker. So he has got his own approach to happiness through a system which he calls the Bank of Creativity. He calls it as attitude, as a way of progress for the life. His own, he has been very oddly a zoology man, going to telecommunication, being a very successful person in telecommunication, and he was in Singapore for 2 decades. And then he shifted back to India about 14, 15 years back. And then he has done his own intense research on this field. And like Professor Ilamatham said, he is now wanting to push this man to his natural for his output to come. So we would like to first invite, of course, Ilamatham. He's a senior person. He's got a lot of things by his own credentials, which I would like to have a separate session. He has done a lot of good work in labor. He has a lot of good work in education, and he has a lot of good work in social environment. So today's thing is more on attitude and happiness. So I would like him to first say a few words, and then we will call Shiva, when Shiva will give a detailed presentation on what he feels he should do. Now, before doing that, I have a small inroads to a happiness index. So which in I will not run through this presentation the way it is. I will yeah, like Akram showed, happiness is something which we have to analyze. Yeah. So now, whatever we do, we want to be, the human being wants to be happy. Our brain, which is in its most intense phase when problems come, want finally, it looks for, even when we sleep. Why we sleep? Because the brain wants to relax, the whole body wants to relax, and we want to be happy. Now, this particular thing is about India, because when we compare all these features and all, we should know that we are a complex country. We have got so many complex problems. So obviously, many of the facts and figures in comparison we will be slightly lower, which should not frighten us. COVID is something which has to be linked to the happiness, because COVID is such a tiny thing, an invisible thing, which has affected very small portion of this thing, and the whole country has come down, and whole world has come down to its knees. Happiness index is a development philosophy. It's an index which I'm sure our speakers will have a lot of things to say. I'm only showing this slide to show that happiness index, as shown and seen and compared by others, are having its own drawbacks, are having its own plus points. We take the plus points and not the drawbacks. I mean, it shows India is 144 in its this thing, which is really something which one has to debate on. We are not such a sad country. We are really in a happy country, because otherwise we would not be so much in entertainment. We always say any Indian movie can be released in any part of the world, it will be an houseful. If we are happy people, we would like, the dances of India are very good, the entertainment of India is very good, the culture of India is very good. They all have to be part of the way the happiness index is formed. So the ranking, the way these are all the way United Nations and others are doing, but they got their own thing. But we should see the positive aspect of it when they define happier country, happy city, happy individuals. And since we have got an expert whose main agenda in life is to make India and the world happy, I would start the session immediately. Professor Ilamatam can start. I would like him to say a few things about himself first, and as I said, he would come again on a different topics of his own interest, and how he is going to link him with this happiness index, so that when Siva comes, he may be able to get a bigger and brighter way of presentation. Yeah.
Uh, Good afternoon, Dr. P. Shekhar. I think I'm audible to you.
Yeah, we are all able to hear.
Yeah, okay. Good afternoon. It's a very novel attempt you have ventured into global index linking for India. Happiness index is, of course, a little bit low in India when compared to other, that countries you have shown in the presentation. But to be frank with you, I am from industrial background, nearly for a decade. I worked with people in the HR. I was in recruitment, selection, and then finally retaining the people and sending the people out also, retrenchment, till retrenchment. So my role is shifted to teaching career in the year 1987. So as a teacher, my parents are teacher. So I have some passion for teaching. So I have to link the industrial portion of it, how the human life is there, how they're happy, what is the quality of work life, and I have converted the theory format. So my students, really about 5 lakh students got benefit out of my, education program offered by government and private universities and universities. So I concentrated my attention towards happiness, creating happiness among the teachers' mind. So nearly about the University Grant Commission support and finance, I have trained nearly about 5,000 to 6,000 teachers from various domain, various discipline, and make them happy and accept the teaching as a profession, which is to be a passion over their own journey. So make the conversion process. So all along in my industrial life and also my academic life and higher education administrative life, I concentrate upon creating happiness among the staff, among the teaching fraternity, among the students, among the public in general. So the happiness is an index, I think, created by world level and scientists and people like you contributing for happiness index. So according to my perception and also feeling that I can, I fall in line with Shiva's approach. It is purely attitudinal, one thing. I'll tell that how the attitude is forming the part of social life. I'll normally, when I explain anything to audience or the general society, I start with a small story for 2 minutes, not more than. I'm not a storyteller, but for the Pullman understanding, or maybe the people who are not lagging behind the technical jargons. So I want to explain the attitude concept and happiness linking with a small story, which I have condensed into 1 minute maximum. So yeah, there was a holy person or maybe a Swamiji normally goes to different places, schools, colleges, or maybe in a madam temple, all this thing, and he used to sit for 10, 15 minutes under the banyan tree, and then he used to give some message to the people who are approaching him. So many people approach, sir, I have a lot of money, but there is no happiness. I have a lot of children, there is no happiness. I have a lot of wealth, Even nobody cares for me. I have plenty of rupees with me to whom I should give happiness, come or not. Let us say the wise man or the elderly man will say, okay, spend the money for the needy. Okay, fine. So like that, people started coming and asking is, I can, it's a counseling for saying that, no, how to reach happiness. So happiness is not the money alone, not the drink alone. It is a part of how we perceive the things and occurrences in our life. Even when I'm talking to my granddaughter, see, I feel that happiness is coming up. See, Tata, when you call Tata, I mean that happiness I'm deriving because of my next generation. So that is a kind of social living. So in my point, the story was linking with the attitude. One day, one school child came to the saint, I mean the old man, the wise man or the holy man. Uh, Swamiji, I have something in my hand. Can you tell me what it is? He's a wise man. He's asked that is a living thing or non-living thing. And before the child asks the question, reply the question, the holy man or the wise man is seeing the hand of the boy. It is slightly shivering, and it is like some meditation is finding. So the Swamiji said, "It's a living thing." The child said, "Yes." Okay. The second question raised by the child was, Swamiji, tell me whether the living thing is living or dead. The Swamiji replied that everything on your hand is on your hand and in your hand. And if you say that off the hand, the total thing will be out. So the child is expecting a reply to the reply from the Swamiji. The living thing reply means dead. Suppose we dead, the child will crush it, and the living organism within that palm is it'll go to dead stage. So the child is not allowing the animal, which is some the bird or some small insect which is inside the palm, not to crush, because his happiness, because recently, no, when he was coming to meet this Swamiji, he got a small butterfly, a baby butterfly, and kept it. But the child is happiness is that some kind of a small hinging here and there, and making the fly moving within the palm itself. Some happiness the child is feeling. So Swamiji is realizing from the hands movement and facial movement and everything, and said that it is in a hand. Suppose we open the hand, it is a living bird or maybe a small insect. And if you press the hand, it is a dead. So the reply was digested by the child in the way that, okay, the Swamiji is telling the correct thing. I'll open my hand, let me see the butterfly fly or not. So the butterfly really flayed off. The child was happy, and also the Swamiji was happy that the child is having a positive attitude, not to kill the animal, but to make this animal or the bird or the insect to go away and see and enjoy the colorfulness of that. So the colorfulness of the perception of individual is part and parcel of the happiness. Say, for example, when I work with the workers community, so the workers will be happy when you pay more. When you pay more, the employees are happy, the workers are happy sometimes. And 50% of the workers go to the liquor shop and spend most of the money and then go with an empty hand, or maybe 50%, 20% to the family or 10% to the family. Then you become indebted. Where is the happiness? It's gone. Money. Then I used to organize a program called Quality of Work Life Program, make the dependents of the family members to come to the company, and we have a community center there. And we make the employees sit together with the spouse and the family members and discuss about how to create how to create happiness. Then I have introduced a concept called quality of work life way back 20, 30 years back. So the quality of work life concept, which was creating total happiness and developing positive attitude among the mentality or maybe minds of the workers community. Like that, when you come to the students community, the students community, normally when you say that when you are happy, the teacher is not coming to the class. When the teacher is not coming to the class, students are happy. Okay. Why do you get unhappiness because of the teacher? Because it's a lot of exercise, a lot of theories and mathematical calculations and derivations. Sometimes they are talking about algorithm, then I'll talk about Python. So many things they're talking, and nothing is useful for my life. Until you link this curriculum and also the happiness of the student to learn Learning should come as a passion for the student. So I have experience with the teachers also. So when I say that when you are happy during vacation time, when I am with my friends, when I am enjoying the party in Goa or Pondicherry or some other places. So the happiness, they are deriving from different sources in different times in different places. So some people say that now if I go to foreign, I'll go to Thailand. So the happiness is more. Finland, of course, your chart says that Thailand is a place that most of the faculty people jolly well accepting the invitation from Thailand government, and they are taking classes as a visiting faculty, including me also. I'm not an exemption to that. So happiness is coming in different way. But according to my calculation theory, we can say that attitude is the base, no doubt about it. Attitude can be managed, created, and sustained. That is the theory of Dr. Shiva. My feeling is that we have to conglomerate, converge all the thinking into global happiness index. That is our ultimate motive and aim of this webinar. So I have a group this happiness index into hexagonal format, six format. I mean 6 directions. One is a kind of psychological base from child to, that is now from child to death, from 0 to 100 years, average living in Indian age is 70. Up to 70, I have calculated that psychological barriers are to be measured. The psychological dimension is one of the variables uh, in the creating happiness index. For example, attitude, perception, self-discipline, social control, all this thing will be coming under this. And I have another dimension called economic dimension, because of my experience that happiness is partly dependent on the money. So economic dimension. Then second thing is I have inferred the technological dimension, which I put there, the innovations, everything coming up. For example, the Nokia is a big factory in India, which was closed down because because of the technological advancement, everything, and the people living there, they are unhappy because they lost the job. They have a family, they no income. Nearly about 3,000 to 4,000 family members are deserted. So here, the technological factor also, when it's from obsoleteness to freshness and obsoleteness new dimension. So technological factors to be considered for happiness index. This creating a phobia, technophobia among the people's mind. So we have to convince the people that even after closing that, you'll be retrained, you'll be replaced and retrained and replaced in your place or maybe different places. So that kind of dimension I have to include in this aspect. And the fourth dimension will be social environment. I said psychological, economical, social, the social environment to be created where the social binding should be created. For example, I'm living in a flat, okay, where my condition was unknown. Suppose I'm infected with COVID-19 and I'm going out for treatment and coming back, the whole society, about 400 people are welcoming me that no, I am recovered. I have a lot of platelet contents acquired. So I am treated as a special man. See here, my social system is accepting me back. That kind of moral satisfaction I am receiving. So I am looking to healthcare sector now. I am witnessing the staff nurses, doctors who are gone for the treatment and coming back with kind of treatment after the positive thing, now negative. I am receiving them with red carpet welcome and greet them. That is the social responsibility of every citizen to create happiness among one group minds. Then, not the least point, social governance is also important, which is inclusive of political environment. So the political party, whoever it may be, should create confidence in the minds of the people so that they'll have a create a trust. The trust is the base for confidence. Confidence is the base for happiness. When I'm having self-confidence on particular individual or particular party or particular social governance, this self-confidence of me leading to social confidence, then that's leading to political confidence. So I am putting this into a hexagonal diagram. Of course, I am not prepared a slide for that, but this hexagonal diagram, for example, psychological, sociological, physical dimension also. Physically, I should be health. I'm a health man right now, healthcare man. I should have a proper health, and I should have a proper health management system. And I'm sorry.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
We can hear you.
I'm hearing, but the audio is gone. 1 minute, 1 minute,
No, no, we
because
can
some call interruption.
we can hear you.
You are getting me?
We can hear you. You can conclude.
Wait, sir. The system, the Zoom has gone. I'm just going back to the Zoom software. Okay, without
No, no, we can hear
seeing
you.
the
We
face,
can
and
hear you.
can I conclude?
Yeah, yeah. Please conclude.
Yeah. Because time is also going up. I want to say a few points on the hexagonal diagram which I'm depicting. One is the major variable which is coming in for creating indexes attitude. This attitude, Dr. Shiva has made a lot of study on that attitude, and he has created a lot of creativity and bank of creativity and gallery, all this thing for the attitude. From my professional point of it, I think that the world after post COVID-19 will be going to see struggle for existence. Number one. Then number two is survival of the fittest, where the Darwin's theory is coming up. And the population shoot up because of Malthusian theory. I'm just coming up. Malthusian theory, when the population is shooting up, there is a chance of COVID-like situation, or maybe any epidemic or any kind of situation which is occurring in our society. So that will reduce the shooting up population. That is the Malthusian theory. So with the existing people after the COVID, I think I have seen in Dr. Segar's presentation, 600 million people, youth are available in the world who are to be created happiness. Unless they are happy, no governance, no system will function with full excellence. So to conclude my talk on this, uh, happiness is a independent variable. It becomes a dependent variable with so many factors like attitude, perception, and behavior, communication, and all this psychological variables are fitting in that. In that time, sorry, the dependent variable is changing continuously and become independent towards the financial, social, technological, all other factors which are coming up in our social governance. Last but not least, there is a capsule I would like to pass it on to the society at the national level or international level. Attitude is a word, very strong word. If you break this alphabetical numerical value of this attitude, I think most of the people have noted this the message through WhatsApp. But I am slightly different from the message and say that it is a numerological calculation. No. It's a mathematical calculation. No. It's the power of word calculation. When I teach the young kids, I should say that attitude is the basic of your life. I think Dr. Shiva, I'll hand over to Dr. Shiva in a few minutes. So when you break this word, A, T, 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 M, A, T, T, I, T, U, D, E, and work out the numerical value of A, 1, like T, the numerical value, and put this equal, it is coming 100 exactly. This is the power of the word. Like that, I should teach my student that, can it tell some other word from your happiness? When you're creating happiness, a word, next word, which is giving exactly 100 dot for your happiness. So some people say success, some people the hard work, some people say faith, all this thing will not 100 exactly look into 100. But my view, after my discussion with my students community and working community, I have identified the word discipline, which I mean self-discipline. The discipline also, if you break the word into 1 to 26 alphabetical numerical value calculation. So are you hearing?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, some audio is gone now. So, I mean, video is gone, sorry. So this discipline, the word also giving exactly 100 dot. Then when I move with some other industrial population and general society, I've moved to the nearly 300 to 400 industrial corporate world, where I observe a perfect culture. So when the culture is positive, when the culture is strong, there is a good quality of work life and there is happiness among the workforce. I'm sorry. So when I break this word again in the numerical value, culture, I'm getting the 100 exactly dot. So anything between attitude and culture, the intervening variable discipline, which I mean self-discipline, is contributing 100% dot for the excellence of an individual. I'm sorry, who can create happiness within them. I'm sorry. So A, attitude, D, discipline, that is self-discipline. C is the culture. These three words I am putting as a capsule format for the international community to remember and take this concept in their way of life so that they can create happiness. So thank you very much, Dr. Shekhar, and I'm leaving the floor open to Dr. Shiva.
Hello. Yeah, let me
Yes.
have a few minutes, to, only a half minute to introduce Dr. Shiva.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Shiva is a very big scientist in his own capability, and he's also a technologist. He has been working deeply in telecommunication, and after a successful career in Singapore, he has come back to India. He was in Singapore for 2 decades, and then he has worked intensely on this particular new concept. He's a scientist, come a technologist, come an attitude man. An attitude man trying to develop attitude as a science, attitude as a culture, attitude as a domain of life. And his wish seems to be, or is, to make India a happier space and globe a good place to live on. And he will be giving actual presentation, and the presentation is supposed to give for about 20-25 minutes. Please take your time, 20 minutes, 25 minutes you can take, and then
Thank you.
we ensure that we understand what you say, and public should understand what you say, so that it
Yeah.
goes forward from here. Dr. Siva.
Yeah. And first of all, thanks to you, Mr. Dr. Shekhar and Dr. Elamadian and Akram, because such a beautiful summit organized to reach to companies, people, and institutions. Okay, and because everyone must know what is happiness, because now everyone is talking about the happiness only a higher level only, top layer only. But people must know the bottom level, what is happiness, what are the categories under happiness, what kind of happiness is required for the people, and what kind of report happiness index people are coming up with. There is lot of differences are there. So I would like to present, and thirdly, I will give the comments about that. So I share my screen. Just a moment. Sir.
You have been given the power.
Yeah, I'm trying to access my data, but my
Yeah.
hard disk desktop.
Yeah.
You can able to see my desktop?
Yeah, we can see. Please
Okay,
go.
just a moment. Mm, my files are this side. Okay. Just a moment, sir. Let me move everything. Okay, fine. Okay, in terms of say happiness index, the many countries are coming up with a happiness index like Denmark, Norway, Holland, Germany, Dubai. So those happiness index are the high level happiness index. It is, but for India, so we need to come up with a different mode and from root. So just not only giving the measures is not sufficient for the country for development. So you need to give measures with the solution to give end-to-end solutions from people, for people, company, and country. Okay, so for that reason, I came up with such a model. See, actually, I had nearly 35 years of experience in research and development, attitude, intelligence, and happiness study, and I published several books, and I secured doctorate in happiness index, and also I recently received the most 50 admired global Indian. Okay, so now I came up with several brands apart from this. So first, I'll start with the happiness now. See, happiness index is designed purely based on the right attitude, intelligence, and true happiness of the people. So now, actually, people are born with the attitude. The attitude is unique with different people. If people born on the same children born for same parents, the attitude are different over each and every siblings. Okay, so that build the attitude from attitude to right attitude to build the right attitude to right attitude. We have come up with several educations and models, and which later I can explain in the presentation. So right attitude, intelligence, happiness is more important for each and everyone life to beautify his life. Okay, so at the bottom line, I mentioned true happiness overrides and overcomes all your difficulties. Okay, the true happiness. Later, I'll come up with a categories of happiness. Then you know that what is true happiness. I can share the how to move to next slide.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. There are two levels I designed in my presentation. One is high level. It measures and complete burden on government. The happiness level one is completely burden on government to focus on infrastructure of education and health, insurance, and cost of living of the people, income of the people. It is a high level. It is totally burden on the nation. And now my level is the next is the in-depth level, the root level measures and solutions shared and distributed. So later I'll explain, it's a shared and distributed, then the burden of the country will be reduced and everybody will be shared. The people, company, and country will be shared. Okay, end-to-end measure and solutions. Attitude-based happiness index is offering tips, tactics, advice, guidance, counseling, help, care, and support, along with solutions and measures to build a bright attitude, intelligence to happiness among people. The happiness index automatically transforms companies and nation. See, before proceeding into the happiness index, there are certain things I need to share with. And before getting into happiness index, we need to understand the principles of God behind creation of life, which lay foundation for happiness-based happiness index. We are God's creation and we are God's particle. Okay, for example, take myself. My name is Dr. Shiva Chipada. I don't know what is happening inside my body. What is the kidney size? What is the heart size? And how it works? How it operates? How it produces the fresh air? Everything. You don't know anything about that. So it's totally we are the God's creation and we are God's particle. Okay, we are exploring how to manage our life and beautify our life through our happiness index. See, our physical body, brain, mind, and senses architecture is marvelously designed with some basic principles, procedures, process, theories, methods, mechanism, techniques, stages, and steps developed and deployed on it through our parents with a life, subconscious, fate, and limited lifespan. It is a golden opportunity to be born as human beings. See, there are few principles which I am publishing now, and I have written several principles, which is later in maybe next meetings I'll share. The principle of God, number one, the characteristics of a person. A person is born with intelligent, innocent, idiotic, incapable, indecent, independent, immature, incredible, intuitive, intellectual, inaccurate, incorrect, imbalanced, and many more characteristics. All of us are born with all characteristics. The proportion of composition is different and unique among people. The characteristics are active or temporarily active or frequently active or occasionally active or inactive or dormant or dead. For example, a person, real or true characteristics are active or can be identified depending on age, stage, situation, circumstances, and environment. When person encounters something which triggers interest or passion, or interest turned to passion, or when he or she meets an accident or incidents, etc. For example, my own mother can't able to identify my character. Suppose we are 14 members. So each and every siblings, the qualities, attitude, intelligence, and characteristics totally different. Even our own mother could not able to identify what kind of character you have. So it's based on the situation, circumstances, environments. It will be active, inactive, or temporarily active. So this is the principle of God one. That means everyone has all the qualities. Depends on situation, it will come out. For example, suppose I'm expert in IT, expert in telecom, but I have a 0% knowledge in chemical industry, 0% knowledge in biofuels. So like that, everyone, different people, different kind of expertise, and there may be a genius in some industry, some industry. So which we need to accept and consider and proceed of follow the model. And next, the principles of God too. For positive people, positive information is positive. For negative people, negative information is positive. So I give, you see the picture below, the lady and the person in the picture, woman is positive, she is smiling. A gift is a positive information. The person is offering a gift to the lady. So she is very happy to take the gift. And man is negative. He came with the axe and killing the woman is positive information. He is smiling with having a axe in his hand. So he came to kill her with by offering the gift. So she is a positive thinker. She is happy with the positive satisfaction, and he is a negative thinker, and he is positive satisfaction in the killing. So that is negative information is a positive for him. So this is the one. And if we explain in another slide next, the criminals are born and get active when situation arises. The criminals are with who has the more negative quality, they are becoming a criminal. The people who are more prone to negativity, possibilities are high to become criminals. So this is the principles of God again. So it's a God creation, positivity and negativity. So we need to be designed our education system, everything based on principles of God. Then we can see the perfection in each and every industry. Next, principles of God 3. The characteristics. See, everyone has a different proposition and composition of positivity and negativity. For example, take myself, I'm having a 30% positivity, 70% negativity. Okay. And some people will have the 20% positivity, 80% negativity, and some people will have 80% negativity, 20% positivity. So this is about, see, I explained in the slide, positivity and negativity are the God's creation. Some people may have positivity 70% and negativity 30%, or some people may have negativity 80% and positivity 20%. Different people have different proportion and composition. It is not that mistake, it is from birth. So it is from birth means we need to follow the based on the principles of the God. Okay, next, the based on the mysterious discoveries, attitude-based happiness index is designed and developed for well-being of people across the globe. So these are the 3 principles, and based on is a foundation for to designing this attitude-based happiness index. And for India, the perfect end-to-end solution for India is gross attitude-based happiness index. With a 2-dimensional approach, self-reliant or self-dependent citizens and self-sufficient nation. Okay, so India, it is a one man running a 1.3 billion people. It is not a small task. It is a massive task. We must have all the robust and sophisticated technologies and solutions in everything and surplus money. It is not possible in India, one man running the 1.3 billion people, and everyone must share and distribute the burden of the country. So that means everyone must self-reliant and self-dependent. Now, India is now in emergency and so in dire need of introducing and implementing attitude-based happiness index to address the citizens' grievance, education. That means attitude studies, happiness index, and the regular subjects. And mental health, physical health, insurance, employment generation, business profits, and we grow with the globalization, internationalization, centralization, localization, and normalization with unification to achieve the goal of self-reliant and self-dependent citizens and self-sufficient nation. This is the approach I am proposing to India to reduce the burden only on the political administrative, that is the central ministers and state ministers. Instead of that, everyone must be shared and unified. So because everyone is capable, everyone has a good attitude, right intelligence, and true happiness. Only thing is we need to government has offer a right education like a school of attitude, school of happiness kind of educations. Okay, now we discuss about the first grievances. What kind of Most of the citizens are carrying their problems like a baby. There is no solutions for the people and companies how to rectify and overcome from their problems, everything. Now, the citizens who become victims without satisfaction and solutions have the following defects: personality weaknesses, professional problems at employment or business, family problems, social problems, financial problems, a weak mental energy, fitness, health, low physical energy, fitness, health, lack of protection like insurances and property, lack of hygienic food and quality vegetables, fruits, lack of safety, security, irregularities, offenses, crimes, corruptions, mismanagement, misbehavior, and many more. Okay, it's a 20 of problems are there for one person, then how he will overcome, he will be happy. So in happiness, there are different categories of happiness. Next slides, I will explain in detail. Finally, citizens become selfish. Due to all these problems, citizens becomes selfish due to fear of life, negativity, negative stress, and depression. There is another positive depression. Positive depression is always good, and it is potential, and it is growth oriented. Okay, and citizen negative depression and suicidal tendency and suicide rapidly increases among people. So finally, the current situation in India is the people lost peace, project lost profits, company lost businesses, nation lost direction. So at the time that we need to introduce attitude-based happiness index, attitude-based education. So this is the logo which I am promoting to introduce into the market to create awareness. And under attitude based, how I came up with attitude based index, it is designed based on the 8 brands which I came up into the market. One is the anti-depression motivation gallery. Other one is intelligence counseling services. Recently, I opened the anti-depression motivation gallery in Chennai. It came out very well, and it is required for all cities and countries. And intelligence counseling services. There is a difference between psychology counseling and intelligence counseling. Psychology is counseling for defects, deficiency, disorders, disabilities, and forensic kind of things. And this intelligence counseling to build from attitude to right attitude. And next, school of attitude, school of happiness, unified cell education system, the brain gallery, and which is I'm coming up with the next type of gallery in Chennai, and University of Right Studies. Already we got approval for private university from Andhra Pradesh government and central government. They are ready to give the de novo deemed university status of central university approval. So, and next, Minister of Happiness. The last one is Minister of Happiness. And this is the attitude-based index, what I may explain in the name. And here I came up with all the brands which I introduced in the market. So for the people, companies and country, there is only one solution at the foundation from the attitude. So I designed the attitude with the attitude studies. So such a kind of these are the list of education which I'm offering for the public to build from attitude to right attitude, to bring out their intelligence and live life with a true happiness. So the education what I mentioned is life management. To manage your life, and life people have divided into the 4 categories: personal life, professional life, family life, and social life. Okay. And next, knowledge management, how to build your knowledge. The clean and clear knowledge is a foundation. The uncontrolled, unnecessary, unwanted, unethical knowledge is not a foundation. Okay. And thinking management, to improve your thinking managers, increase your analyzing power, increase your understanding power, increase your decision power. The decision makes you the success or failure. And memory management, character management, emotion management, stress management, depression management, success and failure, and expectations and satisfaction, and leadership attitude. Everyone need a leadership attitude. To manage your family, you need a family leadership. To manage yourself, you need a personal leadership. To manage company, professional leadership. To manage society, social leadership is required. Okay, fine. Without the foundation of attitude-based happiness index, people are unable to control the negativity, negative stress, depression, suicidal tendency, and suicides. Moreover, most of the people are lacking and directionless to resolve the differences of opinion, issues, troubles, disputes, worries, problems, loss, and damage occurs through oneself or others, or accidentally, or with wrong understanding or interpretations. It is makes people totally depend on gods, our judicial courts, our police station, our counselors for meetings, their expectations, satisfaction, fulfillment, happiness, and enjoyment and entertainment in personal life, our students' life, professional life, family life, or social life. Care for right attitude education, they know how to take care of them. So just build the right attitude, intelligent, and I help them to identify the true happiness. They know, every individual know how to take care of them, the basics. So government is not necessary, offer a freebies, free education, not at all necessary. And every year it is a recurring expenditure. The freebies and free education, recurring expenditure. We can avoid all this recurring expenditure when governments, companies, or country implement these attitude studies. The anti-depression motivation gallery, which I suggested, I opened in the Chennai recently. This is a world-class and world's first depression gallery, and we are proposing to all companies and government organizations and cities to set up a gallery to meet the need of the people, because most of the people, out of two, one is struggling with negative stress and depression across the globe, not only in India, everywhere. Next, India is focusing on GDP only. So if you focus only GDP, okay, you are always protecting based on the GDP, because many countries come up with a 14, 13 parameters. If you focus only on that, you see the impact later to what is and next slide you will actually, you can justify yourself based on my presentation, the where India is, where people are company, and what is the different, the my model and the other model. And next is see the government, companies, and citizens focusing on gross domestic products in India. Because now the current problems in India is monthly income is low, cost of living is high. If you take Denmark and Holland, other countries who are in the top list in the happiness index, their monthly income is higher than cost of living. The number one criteria is that. Okay, so next, the families are in financial straits and in companies and struggle. Businesses are not profit making. Products and services quality is not up to the mark. Education and farm loans are not paid. Corruptions, malpractices, bankruptcies. Government and banks are under loss. Mental health problems like negativity, negative stress, and depression mount. There is no insurance or low insurance coverages. How nation, banks, companies, and people handle the situation? So that is the reason I proposed my model, the focusing on attitude-based happiness index. It is a mass and massive growth. So if you concentrate, you focus on attitude-based happiness index and implement in India in all states, the benefits automatically, it will improve the GDP and GPI. GDP is gross domestic product, GPI is global peace index, and GLE is global life index. QLI is quality of life index, and GII is global innovation index, and GSLI is global service and location index. If we country focus only on attitude based index, everything will automatically goes. You don't need to focus individually on one by one on at all. So you can see in next slides, and attitude based happiness education is mandatory for citizens of India and for the rest of the world to reduce maximum dependence on government, since people are capable of being self-reliant and self-dependent, supporting of attitude-based happiness index. Now, first of all, I'm talking about attitude. Attitude is a foundation for the true happiness and the intelligence and for right attitude. Now, the best way to describe people's knowledge of attitude-based happiness, okay, it is categorized into three stages: early and premature stage, a growing and development stage, and grown up or fully stage. So you can understand now that I came up with a picture representation in the flower after birth, before attitude-based happiness now, and after attitude-based happiness. So life is beautiful. It is our and nation's duty to beautify it. It is not only the nation's responsibility to give everything to your doorstep, and you have a talent, capability, potential, and we need to spend our time, efforts, and save our emotions, everything to beautify our life. On top of that, nation will support you in addition to that. So this is what it is, a two-dimensional approach required. One, self-reliant, self-dependent, build yourself on your own, and country also will build you, and also country will make country a self-sufficient nation. Next, people are born with attitude and intelligence. It is our and nation duty to build up right attitude, right attitude, and help citizens to explore and use intelligence to bring out true happiness by learning, training, tuning, controlling, and adapting to generate good thoughts and beautify citizens' mind and life and protect yourself from unhappiness, disappointment, negative stress, and depression. To beautify citizens' life, we build up attitude to right attitude, intelligence, and true happiness that transform the citizen's mind during transformation period. Now, come to the happiness. So happiness, I categorize instead of happiness only happiness like globally world happiness index everything. Happiness is categorized into four. What kind of happiness is required for the people, individual, and companies and country? So people individual. So there are I categorize into four type of happinesses: true happiness, happiness, derived happiness, unethical happiness. Okay, and subcategorized into several levels: instant happiness, temporary happiness, occasional, frequent, short-term, long-term, and permanent or lifetime happiness. So below, I hope you can understand the picture representation. So bottom line is that green, apparent green color is age. So mentioned 0 to 55 years and lifetime. And above that, the permanent happiness. If you have permanent happiness, then long-term happiness, short-term happiness, frequent happiness. O stands for occasional happiness. Temp is temporary happiness. F means frequent happiness. So this is the start. And now we come to first, there are four categories: true happiness, happiness, derived happiness, unethical happiness. First, I'll explain about the happiness. Celebrations, happiness we will generate through celebrations, entertainments, enjoyment, games, sports, exercise, promotions, increments, bonus, travels, gatherings, scholarships, donation, gifts, and freebies from government and companies and people, etc. People will go after government or companies if they stop offering happiness package due to financial instability or force majeure or any change in leadership, since people are adapted and dependent. So this happiness is given to instant. This all gives instant happiness, temporary happiness, occasional, frequent, short-term, long-term happiness. It will not give people the permanent happiness. If a company stops or country stops giving a freebies to people, and next year people will fight with the government, they again want the, for example, take farm loan. So farm loan, if government stops, the people never not at all leaving government. They are pressurizing government to give the farm loan. So this is just an example. I am not pinpointing anything. Okay, so there's a permanent happiness is lacking in the happiness what currently the globally everyone is offering. Okay. Next, derived happiness. So happiness is derived from others' issues, troubles, disputes, problems, weakness, loss, failures, dissatisfaction, disappointment, incidents, accidents, and death, and by molest and rape. So now people are the negative people. Their happiness is while raping a girl is a happiness, and insulting a people are happiness, and blaming others and underestimating people, they feel happiness. So this derived happiness we can't bring into the happiness index. So it is a totally wrong, our happiness. So that's what we have to give a complete knowledge to the people. What kind of happiness you require, what kind of happiness government can offer, and how, what kind of happiness people, company, public will accept. So everyone must have a basic understanding. Next. The happiness is derived by insulting, blaming, accusing, cunning, underestimation, teasing, torturing, revenging, cheating, and involved in other offenses and crimes. And happiness is derived from mistakes, misuses, misadvice, misunderstanding, miscommunication, mismanagement, malpractices, and misbehavior. So this kind of happiness also gives people instant happiness, temporary happiness, occasional happiness, frequent happiness, but it never give long-term happiness, the permanent happiness, and lifetime happiness. Okay, so people have to understand. If you insult a person, it is a temporary happiness. If you theft or rape a girl, it may be a few days happiness or a temporary instant happiness. Okay, so if you watch a movie, it is an instant happiness or maybe a temporary 2 days, 3 days happiness. That's unethical happiness. Some people are involved in illegal activities, too much alcoholic consumption, drugs, child trafficking, kidnapping, and human organ sales, and suicide bomber, terrorism. These all are irregularities, illegal happinesses are among people. We can't bring this into the happiness index. So this kind of happinesses are instant happiness, temporary happiness, occasional, frequent, or short term. It is not a long term or permanent happiness. Now, come to the point of true happiness. The true happiness is hidden beneath the clean and clear knowledge, good thinking ability and decision making, organized memory management, controlling and balancing of character, feeling, emotions, and body language, exploring and identifying the inborn assets. It resides in the form of self-motivation, self-confidence, intelligence, talents, capability, potential, and power. The real happiness is hidden behind your emotions, hidden behind your clean and clear knowledge, hidden behind your good decision making. So, are you a good thinker, a good decision maker, or do you have a clean and